Hello, and in this video I'm going to show you how to add a bassline. This bassline is not a sample, so you need to create it yourself. It's not like the Tumby samples and the other samples that have been created for you. So the first thing you need to do is you need to add a track. Above the child rhythm, above all of these tracks, there's a button here that says add track, so you click on this. And you select the software instruments, which is the first one on the left hand side. You can pause the video here and have a go at doing that if you haven't already done it. Great. Now you're going to change the instrument. We want a bass sound. Next to where it says instrument, if you click on this icon, it's actually a piano icon. So if you click on it, and then you can change the instrument here. So where it says piano, I'm going to select this and I'm going to go down to a synth bass sound. Bhangra music is a fusion style of music where you fuse or you often mix traditional sounding instruments with lots of electronic sounding instruments. So this synth bass is a good electronic sound for a bass sound. And if I either press the keys with my mouse or press the keys on the keyboard, Z, X and C, there you go, you hear that synth bass sound. You can choose a different one. This is at the moment deep house if you want to choose a different sounding synth bass sound. Okay, so make sure you've got a synth bass sound there. Pause the video if you haven't already done it and just change that now. Okay, so I'm going to show you the bass line that I have created and then I'll show you how to input it. On the hand side here you can see the bass line that I have written that's going to go with my project. This bass line is based on the notes of an E minor chord. The notes in E minor are E, G and B. Notice nearly all of those notes are in that chord. You've got an F sharp here, which is not in the chord, which is just a nice stepping note or passing note going from an E to a G. I've also written the bar numbers, the beat numbers at the top that correspond with what they look like on BandLab. So this is the first beat of bar 1, second beat of bar 1, third beat of bar 1, fourth beat of bar 1, etc. Right, so that will make it easier, I think, for you to put the notes in when you look at BandLab, so we know where they go. So I can refer back to that when I start putting the notes in. Now I'm going to go to BandLab. Now I've just chosen my instrument. I'm going to close this and make sure I have a region on the bass track. Before I do that, actually, I'm going to just rename this track. So it actually says bass. You can do that by just clicking on the text where it says instrument and you can then type bass in yourself. You can pause the video now and have a go at doing that. Okay, so to add a region on this track, all you need to do is double click on the track itself. Let me do that now. And it automatically has created this region and it opens the MIDI editor. If I close, I can open it again in a second. If I'm just going to close that and I can see now this has automatically created one that's 4 bars long. Yours might do one that's 1 bar long. My bass line is 4 bars, notice here, so if it's not long enough then you can make it shorter or longer by just going to the right hand side and notice there's an icon that's got a line and then 2 arrows, and then you can drag to make sure it is 4 bars in length. Okay, now I want to go back into this region. You can either double click or you can just press the MIDI editor at the bottom and I can actually write the notes in here. Let me go to my bass line now and see what notes are in my bass line. So here we go. First note is an E, right? And the bass line should be low, and I'm going to choose the lowest note, the lowest E I can put on BandLab, and it comes in on the first beat of bar 1. So let's go, here we go, to the MIDI editor, Now on the left hand side you can see a piano keyboard, and that's how I'm going to find my E. This first note, that's a C1, so if I go one up to the next white note, that will be a D, and then one up here will be an E. So I need to put it on this note, and it's actually slightly higher. So the lines on the grid, you've got the lighter lines that correspond to the white notes and the darker lines that correspond to the black notes. So this E should go onto this lighter line here that corresponds to this white note. Here we go. So if I make sure my pencil tool is selected, and then I can just press the E note here. There we go. Pause the video here and have a go at doing that. Great. When you put the note in, it might be shorter, like this, just lasting half a beat, not going from 1 all the way to 1.2, but just up to the first half of that beat. If that's the case, you can just simply click on it and make sure it lasts all the way to 1.2. Now I'm going to go back to my bass line and see what my next note is. So I've got another E on beat 4 of the first bar. So I'll go back to my grid. Now it's going to be on the same line, horizontal line, as the first note, and it needs to be on the 4th beat, so that's 1.4. So let me just click that one there. There we go. I'm then going to check the next note. Now in the next bar, there's nothing on the first beat of the bar, nothing on the second beat of the bar. Then I've got another E on the 3rd beat of the bar, and then an F sharp on the 4th beat of the bar. So I'll go back to the grid now. So this 3rd beat of the bar, 2.3, again it's on the same note as I already have, so I'll just click that one there. Now then the F sharp. If I go back to the piano on the left hand side, here's the E, one note up is an F, but I want the F sharp, which is the black note next to the F. On my grid, I need to therefore find the darker line that's the next dark line up from the E, and that's going to be on beat 4. There it is. Pause the video now and have a go at doing that. Great. Now I'm going to go back to my bass line. I've done the first 2 bars. Now I'm going to bar 3. In the first beat of bar 3, I've got a G. So let me go down to the grid. I'm going to just move along slightly so I can see all of bar 3 and bar 4 along the top. And this is an F sharp on that darker line, and the G is just the one right up next to it. So it's a semitone higher. So from an F sharp, I'll just go to the next G on the first beat of the bar. Then I'm looking at my bass line, and the next G is the same note, another G on the 4th beat of bar 3. So let's go back to my grid. That's the 3rd beat, that's the first beat, sorry. Now 3.4 would be the 4th beat of bar 3. There we go. Pause the video now and have a go at doing that. Good, and now the last bar, my bass line. On the 4th bar, I've got a B that comes in on the 3rd beat of that bar. So notice this is also a minim, so it lasts the whole of those 2 beats, so bar beat 3 and beat 4. So I would need to make my note longer. So it starts, here we go, starts on beat 3, and now I need to find a B. This is the G. I need to go one note up, white note up to an A, and then another white note up to a B. So if this is a G, one note white note up would be on this line, so I need to go one further here. And my B comes in on the 3rd beat of the bar. I will just put that there. And as I said, this note is longer, so I'm going to extend it to last the rest of bar 4. Okay, now I can close it and I can have a listen to it. So this is my bass line here that I've sequenced. I'm just going to listen to it with the kick, the snare, and the child rhythm and the tumbi sample. Again, this is still looped for 4 bars only, so I can just focus on these 4 bars. Let me go back to the beginning by pressing enter, and then I can press the space bar to play. Here we go. There we go. So that's how you might create your own bass line. As I said earlier in the video, if you want to do something slightly different, that's fine, but please base your bass line on the notes of an E minor chord. Off you go.